Every day, our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics.
Nobody's ambition is what the blood.
I have fought very firmly.
Natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
Corruption not in my country.
Driver, why you just dey jack us up and down like this now?
I hope nobody carry belle.
Why you ask go?
Because
This is ATN Global News at 9. First, the headlines. Rivers residents react as Nigeria marks Democracy Day today. Adeleke says credible election best way to immortalize Abiola. Tinubu to submit bill on minimum wage to NAS. Nigeria to lose over $27 billion investment in Escravos. Russia denies coercing Nigerian students to fight for visa. Veteran actor Sule Soebebe feared dead. Ex-defender Soje calls for coach Finidi sack. Now the news in detail. Analysts have expressed that court declarations are for injunctions, due process, and to instill status quo amongst parties. Speaking on ATN Open Conversation program, a social-political analyst, High King, elucidated further.
Orders, they are not declaratory, they are not enforceable. It's just commentaries that was made by a judge. But for me, like I said, if a judge says, I don't have jurisdiction, the next thing you do, you rescue yourself, you excuse yourself. You dismiss the matter, or you send the matter. If it's the Federal High Court, if it is in the Federal High Court will transfer to the State High Court or transfer to the appropriate court, but not to go ahead to make declarations and orders.
Meanwhile, Don Akbaraji maintained that public perception of issues is not applicable or as the same in terms of judicial protocol and interpretation.
In court, it's not where you go. It's not like a marketplace where you just go and buy and come out. The law will look at what is those things, evidences that will prove that these people are members or they are no longer members. Even against what the general public have concentrated on. The general public have, in their mind, is these people are no longer members of the house because they have raised a card of the party. And then two, they have said we are no longer members. By virtue of what they have said, in the eyes of the public, they ordinarily have defended to the party. But what does the Constitution say?
This is coming after a River State High Court declared that the 27 lawmakers were still valid members of the River State House of Assembly because there was no proof that they had defected from the PDP to the All Progressives Congress. The court, its recent ruling, struck out a suit filed by Wasa Ahmadi and 3 others seeking to declare the seats of the 27 lawmakers vacant following their defection to the All Progressives Congress in December 2003. As Nigeria commemorates Democracy Day since 1999, which marked the nation's 25 years of uninterrupted democratic governance, as well as its rite of passage to becoming a true and enduring democratic society amongst members of the nation.
I want to still give this new board the benefit of the doubt. You know, if they have, said that the
issues which possess
abandoned
challenges
projects
impacting
of the
the
past
nation following the
that they want to
inception of a government by the people, ranging from corruption, constitutional and electoral reforms, rising civil unrest, poverty, unemployment, insecurity and human rights amongst others. In view of today, June 12th democracy celebration in Nigeria, stakeholders have expressed
currently being carried out because I'm aware of the solar lighting system.
Actions, they say, is louder than words. What I expect from the NDDC, the management is, let's see you start this work. Let people see what you're doing. Then from there, you think we'll be able to complete this, we'll be able to do this, we've done this, we've completed this. Not coming to tell us how much there be marked for uncompleted project. It's embarrassing sometimes when management of this great institution come up to tell Nigerians that abandoned projects, you are still planning on how to complete it.
Oyo Zonal Command of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) has secured the conviction and sentence of 12 internet fraudsters before Justices Ijeoma Ojukwu and Rosemary Ogorore of the Federal High Court sitting in Calabar, Cross River State. While Justice Ojukwu convicted and sentenced 11, namely YK Vitalis Ndubisi, Kinsley Good News, Iyang Victor, Ekere Obong, Adams, Usang, Enang, Ogudu James, Arinze Nelly, David Dede, Ibeuchi Ukochukwu, Prince Samuel Bai, and Ekpo Peter. Justice Ogbowore convicted and sentenced Joshua Akpabio. All the convicts were prosecuted on 2-count charges bordering on criminal impersonation on social media platforms with intent to defraud unsuspecting members of the society, barring Akpabio, Ukpai, and Peter, who faced 1-count charge respectively. They all pleaded guilty to their charges when they were read to them, following which prosecution counsel Joshua Abolarin and Mohammed Kabis prayed the courts to convict and sentence them accordingly, while defense counsel Tom Udeme, Francis Ezike, Innocent Eze, and Henry prayed the court for leniency on the ground that the defendants were first-time offenders. After listening to the arguments of both prosecution and defense counsel, Justice Ojukwu handed Ndubisi, Good News, Victor, Adams, Enang, James, Nelly, Dede, and Okechukwu 6 months jail term on each of the 2-count charges, which is to run concurrently, and 6-month jail term to Peter and Ukpai on their 1-count charge, while Akpabio bagged a 1-year jail term with the option to pay a 1 million naira fine for Justice Ogbowore. Former President Goodluck Jonathan on Wednesday alleged that some state governors are encouraging youths to be criminals rather than becoming assets to society because of politics. The former president made the allegation at the official commissioning of the Edo State Civil Service Secretariat complex, reconstructed by Governor Godwin Obaseki-led administration. The former president also commended Governor Obaseki for improving the welfare of the state civil servants, while stating that before now, civil servants in the state go home monthly with salaries that cannot take them home. He noted that with the 70,000 naira minimum wage, the governor is now paying workers salaries that can take them home. The former president advised undergraduates to struggle to make first class instead of joining cult groups, drinking alcohol, and raping women. He advised them to always take their academics seriously to obtain good grades. He prayed that whoever succeeds Governor Obaseki as the next governor of the state would not let the people of the state down and would also continue from his predecessor's good work. Earlier in his welcome address, Governor Obaseki said his government embarked on the rebuilding of the secretariat because he believes that government bureaucracy must work if the state must make progress. Obaseki said if the government must attract private sector investment, which was required to develop the state, it needed to upgrade its workplace, personalities, and capacity of public servants and public service. Federal High Court sitting in Benin City has reserved judgment for July 19, 2024 on a legal tussle over the Edo State governorship primaries of the Labour Party conducted on February 23rd. ATN recalls that one of the aspirants in the contest, Mr. Kenneth, challenged the party's candidate, Olumide Akpata, alleging irregularities in the process and issues with the personal documentation provided by Akpata. Justice Babatunde reserved ruling for July 19 after parties to the suit adopted their written addresses. Now this is challenging nomination of Akpata on the grounds that the Labour Party did not follow the Electoral Act, the constitution of the party, and the party guidelines in the conduct of the primaries. Lead counsel to the plaintiff, A. Malik San, in his submission, prayed the court to dismiss the submission of the counsels to Olumide Akpata on the grounds that the first defendant violated the Electoral Act and the party's constitution, which he noted are critical elements of the electoral process. Malik also pointed out that his client has disclosed a reasonable course of action on the matter and urged the court to reject the submission of the first defendant, declare and return the plaintiff as the winner, or in the alternative, void, nullify the primary election and order a fresh one. He alleged that the LP primaries were marred by overvoting, contrary to the party's guidelines and the constitution. On his part, the counsel of the defendant and ruling mate of Akpata, Kadiri Asama San, submitted that the argument and submission of the plaintiff were baseless and could not be litigated upon the court. He argued that it was a pre-primary issue and as such should be dismissed by the court. Asama, while adopting all the arguments contained in his written addresses, urged the court to dismiss the position of the plaintiff, adding that it was an abuse of the court process. Four-story building under construction collapsed on Wednesday, June 12 at Dennis Memorial Grammar School in Onitsha, Anambra State. Several people were reported to be trapped in the debris. The building, which was near completion, collapsed around 7:15 a.m. on Wednesday. Although no lives were lost, a source at the school expressed concern that some of the trapped individuals might not survive. Confirming the incident, Director of Operations DMGS Centenary Chijoke described it as an irretrievable situation, citing possibility of casualties. However, said efforts were ongoing to protect lives and account for everyone around the collapsed building. When contacted, the Anambra State Chairman of Koren, Victor Meju, confirmed the collapse, while he said it could be a human error. He said Koren would go back and conduct forensic analysis to actually determine the exact cause of the building collapse. According to the Koren boss, evacuation had started taking place as members of the Police Command, Federal Road Safety Commission, Deputy Governor of the Anambra State, and some state commissioners had stormed the scene. However, he was not sure of the casualties, but he told ATN that the site engineer told him that 3 persons were working at the building 2 days ago, adding that the phone numbers of 2 were not traceable as at the time of filing this report. Staff of the Abia State Ministry of Health, Umaya, has hailed the suspension of the Commissioner of Health, Ngozi Okoronkwo, by Governor Alex Otti on Tuesday. The suspension of the Commissioner, according to them, was a good step by the Governor, which also showed that he truly listens to the voice of the people. ATN recalled that Ngozi Okoronkwo was suspended over allegations of gross misconduct leveled against her. Meanwhile, the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Dr. Ifeanyi Kalu, and the Special Advisor to the Governor on Health, Ngozi Azodo, were directed by the state government to run the affairs of the ministry pending the outcome of the investigations on Okoronkwo. A visit to the Abia State Ministry of Health, Abia State Secretariat on Tuesday showed that some civil servants working in the ministry were happy with the commissioner's suspension. Some workers who pleaded anonymity for fear of being victimized claimed that their suspended commissioner was arrogant and unfriendly in her interactions with workers. However, the Abia State government has said that the commissioner would undergo investigations for gross misconduct leveled against her, but explained that she is still presumed innocent until the allegations are proven true by the outcome of the investigations. Governor Seyi Makinde of Oyo State has declared that there is hunger in the country. Makinde noted that what is happening in the country does not reflect where the country and its people should be as a nation. He used the opportunity to appeal to the leaders across the country to create a framework to harness our potential through mobilization, sensitization, and advocacy. Makinde made these assertions while speaking during the signing of the executive bill establishing the Oyo State Mobilization Agency for Socio-Economic Development. The governor noted that his administration will continue to prioritize economic development in order to solve major challenges in the state. He used the opportunity to announce the appointment of a former commissioner for education in the state, who is a special advisor on socio-economic development as the Director General of the agency. Makinde noted that the establishment of the agency is in line with his stance that the administration will not only be defined by the massive infrastructure it has built, but by strong institutions it had put in place. The governor, while speaking further, maintained that the government can't win the people's trust if it does not clearly communicate where it is taking the people. Makinde further said that the agency will play a big role in the continuous mobilization and sensitization of the various demographics in the state. Lagos State University Teaching Hospital has said it is on red alert and prepared to address the possible spread of cholera disease in Lagos. The management of LASUT spoke in response to the death of 5 persons and the hospitalization of scores of others showing symptoms of the disease in Lagos, saying it has put its healthcare workers on red alert and other stakeholders on notice in readiness for the possible spread. The management of state-owned health facility in the statement issued on social media handles at LASUT Ikeja on Wednesday morning declared its readiness to manage the possible spread of the disease, saying precautionary measures in response to an outbreak has been set on course. ATN recalls that about 5 persons were reported dead and 60 others hospitalized from the outbreak of severe cholera in communities around Etiosa, Lagos Island, Ikorodu, and Kosofo local government areas of Lagos State. The Lagos State Commissioner for Health, Akin Abayomi, who disclosed this while reacting to the state surveillance report, said that the state government has issued a call for heightened vigilance and adoption of precautionary measures to prevent the spread of a potential cholera outbreak in the state. Governor Ademola Adeleke of Osun State says free and fair elections are the best way to honor the memory of the acclaimed winner of the June 12 presidential election, late Bashoru MKO Abiola, and other heroes of democracy. Adeleke said this in a statement by his spokesperson Olawale Rashid to commemorate the 2024 Democracy Day on Wednesday. ATN recalls that Abiola, the presumed winner of the annual June 12, 1993 presidential election, was arrested while trying to insist on his victory and died in custody in 1998. The 1993 election, though annulled by the then military government, is adjourned to be the freest and fairest so far in the nation's history. This prompted the change in the celebration of Nigeria's Democracy Day from May 29 to June 12, which the former President Muhammadu Buhari's administration did in 2018. Adeleke described free and fair elections as the lifeline of any viral democracy, acknowledging the sacrifices and struggles that paved the way for the current civil rule in the country. He acknowledged the sacrifices and struggles that paved the way for the current civil rule in the country rule in 1999. The governor called on politicians in the country to submit themselves to upholding the tenets of democracy by respecting the will of the people. Governor of Ogun State, Dapo Abiodun, has urged Nigerians to have faith despite the economic challenges they are facing, stressing that the country is still at the baby steps of democracy. Abiodun, while emphasizing the need to be steadfast and trust the democratic process, urged Nigerians to continue to support the government and its policies. The governor gave the charge on Wednesday during the Democracy Day celebration prayers held at the family home of the winner of the June 12, 1993 presidential election, late Moshood Olawale Abiola in Bagura, Abeokuta, represented by Deputy Governor Nomot Salako Oyedele. Abiodun expressed immense pleasure that Nigerians are celebrating 25 years of unbroken democracy, which was laid by the late Abiola, and appreciated the federal government for setting aside the day not just to honor his memory but also to celebrate democratic rule in Nigeria. Abiodun added that his administration will continue to honor the legacy of late Abiola, particularly as he was a prominent son of the state. He also pledged that his government will not relent in delivering the dividends of democracy to the people of Ogun State. Honorable Minister of the FCT, Barrister Nyesom Wike, on 11 June 2024, commissioned 3.2 kilometer road leading to Kwali Township Bridge in Kwali Area Council of the FCT. The minister pledged more commitment to work in the area council to reflect renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. Our Abuja correspondent Joseph Moses completes the report. Former member of the National Working Committee, NWC, of the ruling All Progressives Congress.
For the 10th time, now at the grassroots of Kwali Area Council of Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, Mr. Project, the Honorable Minister of FCT, Barrister Nyesom Wike, on June 11, 2024, commissioned 3.2 kilometer road leading to Kwali Township Bridge in Kwali Area Council of FCT. The chairman of Kwali Area Council, Honorable Danladi Chia, and His Royal Highness, the Chief of Kwali, Luka Ayedo, expressed their gratitude to Wike for extending the renewed hope of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, confirming that the 3.2 kilometer road project was awarded and abandoned for about 14 years ago, till Wike came and award the project and complete it in 3 months.
Once again, I want to thank you for giving us another road for the fake road that has been left for over years. That road, and the former president Obasanjo went to that place to commission that road. Since Obasanjo, that road has been abandoned. We have lost hope. But the people of that area council, that road between Kwali and Kuje, we have gained hope for giving this road for another new phase. He said we are grateful to, and to say that we love him. We love him from the bottom of our hearts. I will end by aligning myself to the statement made by Mr. President in the last commissioning. And he said, Mr. Wike, you have provided purposeful leadership in the times of triumph. We are gathered here. This is a testament of the fact that good leadership speaks and touches all.
The Honorable Minister of FCT, Barrister Nyesom Wike, while in his address, said that the FCT administration will continue to work towards ensuring that every nook and cranny in the Federal Capital Territory feels the impact of the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, promising Kwali Area Council that there will be more roads to be constructed for them. Wike named the road after the mother of Kwali community by the name Ladi Kwali.
His ambition, his vision is to make that Nigerians their hope must come back. And that is why we have done what we have done today. This is not the only road we are doing in Kwali. Your chairman has announced the one that we are going to flag off soon. There's another one that's going on in Kwali too. So in essence, in this 1 year, this year alone, Kwali will have not less than 3 roads. This was not like that before. Was it like that before? Was it like that before? Has hope come back? Has hope come back? Are you sure? You are sure? So, all you are talking is that Mr. President has brought back hope to all of us. Now, he has told me before the chairman asked, as if it was in my mind, a popular Nigerian, a popular Abuja person, a popular African, who has always contributed to the development of Abuja. And therefore, it is very important that charity must also be for hope that this road be named Ladi Kwali Road. On that note, I invite all of us, the traditional ruler and the leaders here, the other council chairman, my brother David Jimkuta, to join us at the House of Reps, to join us as we commission this Ladi Kwali Road.
We'll be back right after the short break. Please stay with us.
Corruption not in my country.
Driver, why you just dey jack us up and down like this now?
I hope nobody carry belle.
Why you ask o?
Because this road where they see so, it no guarantee safe delivery.
We just dey vote for government, but we no get good governance.
At all.
Road so e no dey, light o usai, the infrastructure nko e come turn to be forbidden fruit for the city.
Corruption spoil everything. Hello?
Hello, madam. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Mrs. Ayeni. I am calling from the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs.
Okay. Okay, I've been expecting your call.
Madam, remove this your phone from loudspeaker.
No vex, now my phone be like that. Hello?
Are you there?
I hear, I'm hearing you.
Yes. We saw a copy of your invoice for computers, printers, and laptops.
Yes. Are you working on them now?
Ma, the prices you quoted are way too high now.
Madam, sorry, please don't cost.
We found the laptop you said is 1.8 million naira for 600,000 naira.
Hello? Now my body network there.
I can't hear you. Network is bad.
Madam, we can hear you. Continue.
Hello, I can't hear you. I will call you back.
Their behavior not good now.
Madam, now this kind behavior they kill our country. You suppose do things differently. Make Nigeria for better.
Corruption not in my country.
This message is brought to you by the Akinfade Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation,
and with broadcast support from Atlantic Television Network.
Frontline.
Welcome back. This is the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. Now to the rest of our stories. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu addressed Nigeria in a nationwide broadcast on Democracy Day, extolling the heroes who fought to bring democracy to the country. He expressed his gratitude to Nigerians for being there for another Democracy Day celebration, adding that it symbolized 25 years of continuous democratic government. The president praised the persons who worked to enthrone democracy in Nigeria, mentioning their names while highlighting the country's transformation. from a military dictatorship to the global democracy in 1999. The president emphasized that true democracy allows for freedom and liberty in daily life, promoting diverse perspectives and viewpoints without assuming unity of opinion or forcing conflicting ideas, recognizing the
Frontline across the ocean.
it disclosed that democracy requires non-forceful resolution of differences, allowing for different views and promoting humility in leaders to serve the common good rather than imposing narrow interests. He acknowledged complaints of economic downturn and hardship while saying the reforms his government initiated will strengthen future growth.
I'm a part of a bona fide citizen of Nigeria, but I might not be proud of it when I'm in diaspora, because our upcoming generations, they might not be happy when they sit and they are alive. Their father, or rather, we keep telling them things that have been happening in the past, right from our colonialists, our elites, down to the present leaders. There's nothing to write home about. No, you can't sit down, relax, and fold our hands. We need to do something. Not as individual, as is a collective responsibility. Everyone needs to sit down, not just dialogue or per se protest. Mass protests will not work. Something we need to sit down and trying to provide a solution, something that is ideal, that will work. Corruption have eaten all the factors or the base of this nation. You say the same thing, you keep re-echo the same thing will keep happening, keep occurring. The present leaders, now they'll come and go. Then the next administrative arms will come and they will still go. The same corruption.
There is nothing good, especially this period of the time. Nothing is working. So we are no joy for this democracy day.
Now, which is Nigeria, money is not our problem. Industrialization is not our problem. What we need is a good leadership. It's a good leadership. I must say it. We have everything.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu said that he will soon send a new minimum wage bill to the National Assembly. Tinubu disclosed this in the Democracy Day broadcast on Wednesday. He noted that the government did not crack down on organized labor as a dictatorship government would have done. ATN recalled that the National Minimum Wage Committee submitted its report to the President on Monday. In the report, the federal government proposed 62,000 naira minimum wage and organized labor proposed 250,000 naira also. Governors and organized private sector proposed 57,000 and 62,000 naira respectively. Tinubu also assured Nigerians that while reforms under his administrations have caused hardship, they are necessary to fix the economy. Tinubu also sympathized with the masses, acknowledging the current economic challenges facing the nation. House of Representatives has said that despite the challenges facing the nation, Nigerians have demonstrated remarkable democratic resilience in navigating the challenges, overcoming obstacles and adapting to changing circumstances. In a statement signed by the spokesman of the House, Honorable Akintunde Rotimi, the House congratulates President Tinubu and Nigerians across the world on the occasion of this year's Democracy Day and Silver Jubilee of the Nigeria's Fourth Republic, 1999 till present day. In his congratulatory speech, the Nigerian Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Abbas Tajuddin, PhD, said this year's celebration is significant in light of the National Assembly as it also marks the one-year anniversary of the 10th Assembly inaugurated on June 13, 2023. The Speaker, who said that democracy has come to stay in Nigeria, acknowledged that the country has been navigating through the learning curve successfully, saying though it is not perfect yet, the country has continued to grow in democratic experience and practice, he added. He appealed to Nigerians across tribes and religions, genders and age groups to continue to contribute their quota to the growth and development of the country, saying Nigeria promises to be a nation that the citizens would be proud of. He stressed the commitment of the 10th House of Representatives to consolidating democracy through our legislative agenda of strengthening good governance, ensuring continued growth and development for our great nation. Military High Command has reaffirmed its unwavering commitment and loyalty of the Armed Forces of Nigeria to Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and President Commander-in-Chief. The Chief Defendant Staff CDS General Christopher Musa expressed this in his message at the 2024 Democracy Day celebration. In June 2018, former President Muhammadu Buhari declared June 12 as a new day to celebrate Nigeria's democracy. The decision was to honor MKO Abiola, the presumed winner of the June 12, 1993 presidential election. Before the new date, Democracy Day was celebrated annually on May 29. The CDS acknowledged the sacrifices made by armed forces members in various theaters of operation across the country, while he said was evidence of their commitment to national unity and growth. He urged military personnel to uphold the tenets of democracy, safeguard citizens' rights, and ensure a peaceful and secure environment for all, while ensuring that victory is in sight against terrorism, banditry, and other forms of criminalities in the country. General Musa urged Nigerians to remain positive and support the military in fight against criminality. The Executive Secretary of the National Human Rights Commission, Dr. Tony Ojukwu, has decried the factors threatening the democratic process in the country. He also called on Nigerians to renew their commitment to the principles of democracy. Ojukwu, a senior advocate of Nigeria, SAN, noted that with concern that elections are still marred by violence, ballot box snatching, killings, vote buying, intimidation of electorate, hate speech, and irregular elections into local government by state governments. In a statement to commemorate 2024 Democracy Day, Ojukwu commended the resilience of Nigerians in their quest for democratic governance, which according to him has clearly manifested in repeated elections that have taken place since the return of democracy in 1999, while assuring Nigerians of the Commission's continuous interventions in strengthening the democratic process. The human rights scribe called on relevant stakeholders to join hands in doing all that is required before, during, and after elections in order to further deepen democracy in Nigeria. Analysts have said that the move by NDDC on the completion of legacy projects across the region should enhance the socio-economic livelihood of the people as direct beneficiaries. Speaking on ATN Blowout program, a socio-political analyst, Mufasa Imosan, tasked the NDDC on the need for grassroots inclusion as it may. Meanwhile, Justin Obi frowned at a huge sum earmarked for abandoned projects. This is coming after the Senate had passed the 1.9 trillion naira budget of the Niger Delta Development Commission (NDDC) for the 2024 fiscal year. The upper chamber passed it after considering a report submitted by its committee on NDDC, presented by Asuko Ekpeong, its chairman. Former Kaduna Central Senator Shehu Sani on Wednesday said Nigeria's democracy still has a long way to go. Sani said there is so much hunger and hardship in the country amid Democracy Day celebration. He was reacting to Tinubu's Democracy Day promise that his reforms will be fruitful. Tinubu had said the reforms he has initiated are intended to create a stronger, better foundation for future growth. There is no doubt that the reforms have occasioned hardship, yet there are necessary repairs required to fix the economy over the long run so that everyone can access the economic opportunity, fair play and compensation for his endeavor and labor. Reacting, Sani wrote on his social media handle, "There is so much hardship and hunger in the land. The earlier the reforms bear fruit and end the aggravating poverty in the land, the better, safer, and more peaceful our country will be." Former Kaduna Central Senator Shehu Sani. Faction of the Joy Youth Council (IYC) worldwide on Wednesday expressed concern over what he described as traces of military rule in Nigeria's democracy. The group also cautioned President Bola Ahmed Tinubu against the incessant militarization of democratic governance. According to IYC, despite the acceptable fact that the day June 12, 1993 had gone down in history as a day when Nigerians expressed the freest and fairest elections, the over-militarization of the country's democracy had become worrisome. A faction of the Joy Youth Council IYC worldwide on Wednesday expressed concern over what it described as traces of military rule in Nigeria's democracy. The group also cautioned President Bola Ahmed Tinubu against the incessant militarization of democratic governance. The group also cautioned the president against the incessant militarization of democratic governance. They said a day when Nigerians expressed the freest and fairest election, the over-militarization of the country's democracy had become worrisome. IYC, through its faction national spokesman, Comrade Bedford Berefa, argued that after several years of democratic rule in the country, there are still traces of military rule in its governance. He insisted that there are evident and repeated use of absolute power by the executive arm of government to dominate dissenting voices. Labour Party LP presidential candidate in 2023 Peter Obi has urged Nigerian political leaders to return to the truly democratic nation. Mobi made this call in a statement via his verified social media handle on Wednesday. The former Anambra State governor said democracy was beyond elections, but fulfilling the responsibilities of responsible governance as contained in the constitution. He tasked Nigerian leaders to respect and protect the institutions of a democratic state by obeying the governing laws of the state and being accountable to the people. The statement was released to commemorate the celebration of Democracy Day in Nigeria. Obi noted that the creation of a true society for democracy to thrive is possible. The former presidential candidate also lamented some of the ratings, which according to him were indications that the nation is not truly democratic. Nigeria Data Protection Commission has said more than 1,000 financial institutions, schools, insurance companies, and consultancy firms are currently undergoing investigations for various degrees of breaches of citizens' data. This was as the Commission's National Commissioner, Vincent Olatunji, revealed that 4 major banks and 3 other institutions faced sanctions and incurred fines totaling 400 million naira for infractions relating to breaches of citizens' data. Olatunji revealed that this during an interview session with journalists to mark the first anniversary of the signing into law of the Nigeria Data Protection Commission Act by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in Abuja. ATN recalls that on June 12, 2023, President Bola Tinubu assented to the Data Protection Bill to announce or advance privacy rights and other fundamental freedoms, both in cyberspace and analog transactions. The legislation allows Nigerians to seek redress from any form of data breach, stipulating that citizens' data is processed in a fair, lawful, and accountable manner. Speaking further, Olatunji emphasized that the nation's data ecosystem has surpassed the value of 10 billion naira due to the multiplier effect of the assenting to the bill. Organized Labour has rejected President Bola Tinubu's claim that an agreement has been reached on new national minimum wage in his nationwide broadcast on to mark Democracy Day. Tinubu had claimed that the consensus had been reached on the long-debated new minimum wage between the federal government and the organized labor in his nationwide broadcast to mark 2024 Democracy Day in Abuja on Wednesday. Tinubu revealed that an executive bill will soon be sent to the National Assembly to formalize a new minimum wage agreement. The president emphasized that his administration chose a democratic approach over dictatorship in addressing the demands of labor unions. However, in a statement on Wednesday, the acting vice president of Nigeria Labour Congress, Prince Adewale, said there was no agreement reached by the tripartite committee on national minimum wage at the time negotiations ended on Friday, June 7, 2024. Adeyanju stated that rather two figures such as 250,000 naira from organized labor and 62,000 naira from the government and organized private sector were arrived at and ought to have been submitted to the president. The labor leader asserted that anything contrary was not only doctored but wouldn't be accepted by labor. Lead promoter of the Escobar Seaport Industrial Complex project in Delta State, Mercury Maritime Concession Company, has said that Nigeria may lose $27.29 billion investment in the project by the end of June. The chairman of MMCC, Rear Admiral Andrew Okoja, retired, disclosed this in a statement that this was due to the prolonged delay by both the federal and Delta State government to give final approval for the project's takeoff. Okoja Abuja added that investors were ready to commit funds for the commencement of the project. ATN recalls that the Edib International of Hong Kong had early this year expressed its willingness to invest $27.29 billion to develop the ESSEC project, whose deep seaport would be located in Escravos, Warri Southwest local government area of Delta State. The project would be carried out through a joint venture partnership with the Nigerian firm. The development of the ESSEC project, which commenced in 2019, aims to develop 31,000 hectares of land in Delta State into a deep seaport, crude oil refinery, gas complex, independent power plant, airport, and nature park, amongst others. Okoja pointed out that the slow pace at which the federal and Delta State governments were providing necessary approvals could result in Nigeria missing out on creating job opportunities for its citizens. However, I stated that the project promised to massively open up Delta State and 7 other states, including FCT, to international investments in trade, commerce, and industry. The National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, has said that the aggregate value-added tax stood at 1.43 trillion naira in first quarter of 2024. This is contained in first quarter of 2024 report, which was released on its website in Abuja. The report shows a growth rate of 19.21% on a quarter-on-quarter basis from 1.20 trillion naira recorded in fourth quarter of 2023. The report also shows that local payments recorded were 663 billion naira, while foreign VAT payments contributed over 435 billion naira and contributed 332.1 billion naira in first quarter of 2024. On a quarter-on-quarter basis, the document showed that accommodation and food services activities recorded the highest growth rate at 59.15%, followed by the activities of administrative and support at 47.79%. On a year-on-year basis, it showed that VAT collections in the first quarter of this year, 2024, increased by 101.65% from first quarter of 2023. Recall that value-added tax for fourth quarter of 2023 was 1.20 trillion naira, showing a growth rate of 26.61% on a quarter-on-quarter basis from 948 billion naira in third quarter of 2023. In international news now, Russian authorities have denied reports that they're coercing African students, particularly Nigerians, to fight in the ongoing war with Ukraine in exchange for visa extensions. The Russian embassy in Nigeria labeled the report as fake news. Reports added that Russia was allegedly sending thousands of migrants and foreign students, including Nigerians, to fight alongside its troops in exchange for visa renewals. In a statement on Wednesday, June 12th, the embassy stated that the claims were entirely unfounded. The embassy states that Nigerian students face no difficulty in extending their visas while continuing their studies in Russia, adding that numerous associations of Nigerian students in Russia have not reported any issue in obtaining the necessary documents to continue their stay in the country. Hong Kong government said Wednesday it has cancelled the passports of 6 democracy activists who fled to the United Kingdom, calling them lawless wanted criminals. Since authorities quashed massive, at times violent, pro-democracy protests in 2019, Hong Kong has intensified a crackdown on dissent, enacting security laws that critics like Britain and the United States say have curbed the city's unique freedoms. Last year, Hong Kong issued $1 million bounties for 13 activists based abroad who authorities accused of committing national security crimes. Besides cancelling their Hong Kong passports, police said anyone offering funds, leasing property or running a business with those names could face up to 7 years in jail. The 6 are former pro-democracy lawyers Nathan Law, veteran unionist Christopher Mong, and activist Fin Lau Fokachi, Choi Ming-da, and Simon Cheng, the founder of the civil society group Hong Kongers in Britain. Hong Kong officials cited the national security law passed in March colloquially known as Article 423, as the legal basis for cancelling their passports. Phil Lau condemned the government on Wednesday and said he has only ever held a British national overseas passport, which is available to Hong Kongers born in the former British colony before 1997 handover back to China. And now the entertainment news. Veteran actor Dayo Adewumi, popularly known as Sule, has been feared dead. The Yoruba top actor, who had been bedridden for months, reportedly died in the early hours of Wednesday at an undisclosed hospital in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. The news of his demise was announced by a popular Ibadan-based cleric, Pastor Ademola Amuson, aka Agbala Gabriel, in whose care the late thespian had been for some months. Announcing his death, Agbala Gabriel wrote on social media, "It's a pity Baba Suebebe died at hospital this morning. May his gentle soul rest in perfect peace." ATN reported in 2023 the late actor appealed to Nigerians for forgiveness over his reckless lifestyle when he was younger and sought financial assistance on social media to foot his medical bills. Following this plea, some of his colleagues reportedly took him to a hospital where he was set to undergo surgery for an undisclosed illness. Efforts seeking support for the actor were led and coordinated by the Agbala Gabriel pastor. Internet sensational actress Ramota Adetu, popularly known as Auntie Ramota, has debunked a rumor that she was in a coma as a result of an unsuccessful Brazilian butt lift. She made this known in a video that trended on Wednesday. In the clip, Auntie Ramota was seen eating and showing off her full body while claiming that nothing was wrong with her. Recall that some online platforms reported that the actress was wheeled into a recovery room in an unidentified hospital in the Corridor area of Lagos State. In a now viral video, a lady who appeared to be Ramota was carried around by medical personnel in a yet-to-be-identified hospital. Ramota, who is known for her comedic roles, appeared unconscious in the footage as she was seen breathing through an oxygen mask. Actress Yvonne Jegede has apologized to May Yul Edochie, the estranged wife of the colleague Yul Edochie, following her controversial podcast comments that sparked widespread outrage. Jegede discussed her marital struggles and referenced those supporting polygamy, which was perceived as an insensitive towards May's marital issues with Yul Edochie. Jegede's comments on the Honest Bunch podcast sparked a backlash, with many criticizing her for being insensitive to May's plight. In response, Jegede apologized on her official Instagram page to clarify her intentions and acknowledge May's hardships. In her apology statement, Jegede expressed deep regret for any misconstruction and reiterated her support for single mothers and those facing marital challenges. Grammy-winning Nigerian singer Ayodeji Balogun, popularly known as Wizkid, has marked his 13th anniversary of his debut album Superstar, while appreciating God for his achievements in the release of his debut album. The Holla at Your Boy hitmaker noted that he is a millionaire in every currency. Describing himself as a real-life winner, Wizkid admonished fans to make sure they are winning in real life rather than living deceptive lifestyles. ATN recalls that Wizkid released his aptly titled debut album Superstar on June 12, 2012 under Banky W's Empire Mates Entertainment EME. The album houses standout tracks Don't Doll, Pakurumo, Tease Me, Holla at Your Boy, and I Love My Baby. Wizkid left EME and set up his own record label Starboy Entertainment after the release of his sophomore album Ayo in 2014. And here's the news on sports. Chiba United goalkeeper coach Sean Lowe has said that Super Eagles stopper Stanley Nwabali will not return to the club. Nwabali's future with the South African side has been uncertain since he shone for Nigeria at the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations earlier this year. After losing the AFCON final to the host Ivory Coast, he played a crucial role in Chiba, reached the Nedbank Cup semi-final and kept a total of 12 clean sheets in all competitions. Former international Sam Soje has called on Nigeria Football Federation (NFF) to sack Super Eagles head coach Finidi George over the poor performance of the team. Finidi also took permanent charge of the Super Eagles in May. The Super Eagles' poor display in the recent 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers against South Africa and Benin has been seen supporters call for his sack. The Super Eagles are currently occupying 5th position on the Group C table with 3 points from 4 games. German coach Gernot Rohr believes the Super Eagles coach Finidi George got his tactics wrong at the Charters of Benin pulled a shock 2-1 win in their Group C 2026 Finals World Cup Match Day 4 qualifiers at the Felix Stadium in Abidjan on Monday. The neighboring Beninese are usually regarded as poor Nigerian cousins, both in stature and football pedigree. The last coach of the Super Eagles before berthing to Cotonou admitted veteran actor Sule feared dead. Ex-defender Soje calls for coach Finidi sack. I am Eni Doye Jackson. Thank you for watching. Remember to follow us on our social media handles on X at Atlantic TV Net, on Facebook and YouTube at Atlantic Television Network, on Instagram at Atlantic TV Network. Remember that peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Happy Democracy Day and have a good evening.
Every day, our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics.
Nobody's ambition is what the blood.
I have fought very firmly.
Natural occurrence, war, and the world